Hey there, CJ Math students. Welcome to Notes 2.19 Part 2. So again, you're trying to really figure out, is there some stuff that you can do these problems using the commutative and associative properties before freaking out and being like, oh, I have to find common denominators and all that stuff. So here we go. 3 and 1/6 plus 20.3 plus positive 5 and 5/6. So I think maybe right off the bat, let's use the commutative property. Let's put the sixths next to each other. So 5 and 5/6 plus 20.3. And some of you might try and jump to the gun and say, well, this is 20 and 3/10 or 20 and 3/10. But let's hold off on that for a second. Let's see what works out here, right? Here, if I do 3 plus 5, that's 8. And 1 plus 5, that's 6/6. And I can do that because I have common denominators. So really, this is 9, right? 8 plus this is 1 whole. So 9 plus 20.3. And look, I don't even have to do anything crazy with changing that decimal to a fraction, because 20.3 plus 9 is just simply 29.3, right? Next one, 4 and 1/4 plus positive 1.75. So let's put the fourths next to each other by using the commutative property of addition. And hopefully when I do that, you should see, oh, this is a super easy problem. 1/4 plus 3/4 is 4/4. So 4 and 4/4, which, oh, if I add that, that's just 5. 5 plus 1.75, boom, that's 6.75. All right, backside. All right, so now, if we remember correctly, when we see these types of problems, we have to remember that both the whole number and the fraction are negative. So it would be a good idea to split these up before trying to do anything. So let's put 80 plus, and then split these. Negative 22 plus negative 3/10. Right? So when I do this part is obviously DSSM, different sign subtract. So 80 minus 22, I have to borrow, right? So we got 58. Right? So positive 58 plus negative 3/10. And I can't just slap them together because they are not same sign. So I got to borrow 1 whole. So 57 plus, and then I look here and say, oh, my fraction should be 10/10 plus negative 3/10. And now again, this is DSSM. So 10 plus negative 3 is not 13, it's 7. So I have 57 plus positive 7/10, and now I get to push those together because you have like signs. So let's look at another one. So 10 plus, again, split this up, negative 3 plus negative 3/8. Again, we have a DSSM here. That just gives you 7. 7 plus negative 3/8. Can't slap them together, so I have to borrow 1 whole. So that becomes 6 plus, there's the fraction, 8/8. Plus negative 3/8, and again, different sign subtract. So I have my answer of 6 and 5/8. 6 and 5/8. All right, all done. So again, let's move on to these. 1/5 plus 20.3 plus negative 5 and 3/10 plus positive. So now we're going to have to start getting a little bit more creative, right? We might have to roll up our sleeves and do a little more work because, look, we do have fractions with unlike denominators, but hopefully you're thinking ahead and be like, I can change that 5th into a 10th by just simply multiplying by 2. And then when you do that, you should say, oh, that's 2/10. Okay, so now let me put, oops, forgot my plus sign. Let me put my plus 5 and 3/10 right next to it, plus 20.3, right? When I add 2/10 plus 5 and 3/10, I get 5 and 5/10, right? Plus 20.3. And now there's a couple ways you could go about this. You could change the 3/10 to 3/10. You could change the 5/10 to 5.5. It's really up to you, right? So whatever you're comfortable with. I'm more comfortable with saying, hey, I always know that that's going to be half, and then just adding the decimals like this and saying, okay, so that's 25.8, right? Again, you could have changed this to 20 and 3/10, and you would have gotten, again, 25 and 8/10, which is the same thing as 25.8. So here, plus a positive, plus a negative. Hopefully, maybe right off the bat you say, I'm going to have to change that 6 to a 12th. So say times 2 times 2. And now let's work with it. So 11 over 12 plus 10 plus, that's negative 10 over 12. Let's put the 12ths next to each other. 11 over 12 plus negative 10 over 12 plus 10. Be very cognizant, aware of those negatives. So this is a different sign, right? 11 plus negative 10, different signs. So subtract them, and I get 1/12 plus 10. Oh, and it's that simple. It's 10 and 1/12. They're the same sign, so I get to put them together. All right, number 5. Here we have plus and negative. We have a plus sign, so that locks that negative in. Hopefully right off the bat you're saying, fourths and eighths. Okay, so let's make this an eighth by multiplying by 2. So I have 1 plus negative 6 over 8 plus negative 12 and 1/8. Let's split this fraction, right? So 1 plus negative 6 over 8 plus negative 12 plus negative 1/8. The reason why I do that is so that you can actually see that, I have a negative fraction here and a negative fraction here. So let's rewrite it using the commutative property of addition, right? So negative 6 over 8 plus negative 1/8 plus negative 12 plus 1. What I did, I moved the fractions together and moved the whole numbers together. So that's negative 7/8 plus negative 11, because that was different signs. So I subtract them. 12 plus negative 12 plus 1, different sign, subtract. And look, they're the same sign, so because they are the same sign, I just get to put them together. So negative 11 and 7/8. Last one you'll do an Edpuzzle. That's the end of part 2.